Some people lose the battle the moment they react, but a Stoic wins before the situation even begins. Most people step into conflict with a chaotic mind, easily provoked, easily shaken, easily pulled into games they don't even understand. They let emotions rush ahead of judgment, and in that split second, they surrender control of the entire situation. Not because they're weak, but because no one ever taught them how to steady the mind before the world starts pushing. Your real opponent is never the person in front of you. It's the story your mind creates under pressure. And if you can control that story, you can control the outcome. In this video, you'll learn how to train your mind to stay sharp, calm, and untouchable, so you can walk into any situation with quiet certainty instead of fear, power instead of panic, and inner victory long before the first move is made. Rule 1. The Stoic pause. Delay your first reaction. Your first reaction is almost always the wrong one. Most people lose the moment something triggers them. Not because the situation is too hard, but because they let their instincts speak before their judgment can even wake up. A disrespectful comment, a sudden pressure, a small humiliation, and they snap. What they don't realize is that the reaction, not the event, is what causes the real damage. The loss begins in the mind long before it appears in the outcome. A mind that reacts fast is a mind already defeated. Stoics understood that the first few seconds of any confrontation are the battlefield. If you can remain still during that moment, you take back command of your emotions and shift from impulse to intention. That tiny pause allows your mind to switch from survival mode to strategic thinking. And once you are thinking instead of reacting, you already hold the advantage. Silence in the first moment is not weakness, it is power. Imagine someone throws a sarcastic remark your way. Most people would fire back instantly, trying to defend their ego. But doing that only reveals where you're fragile. When you pause instead, steady your breathing, keep your posture strong, hold your gaze, you change the entire dynamic. Suddenly, they no longer control the emotional tone. They have to confront their own behavior because you're not giving them fuel. When you pause, you flip the power dynamic immediately. In the workplace, this pause can save you from sending impulsive emails, making rushed decisions, or saying something you'll regret. In relationships, it prevents unnecessary fires caused by heat-of-the-moment reactions. In daily life, it keeps you grounded when circumstances try to pull you into chaos. Most people react. A Stoic measures. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it." But to know what's right and true, you need a moment of clarity before responding. The pause gives you space to separate facts from emotional distortions. It allows you to choose strength over impulse, dignity over defensiveness. Pause. Breathe. Observe. This is the three-step ritual of a trained mind. Pause to interrupt the automatic emotional loop. Breathe to calm the nervous system and bring your judgment back online. Observe the situation, the person in front of you, and your own internal state. Then respond with intention rather than panic. Victory doesn't come from reacting. It comes from choosing. When you master the first 3 seconds, you master the entire interaction. You stop playing the game others want you to play. You stop handing away control. You become the one who shapes the direction of the moment instead of being pushed by it. In any difficult situation, the calmest person, not the loudest, is the one who wins. Rule 2. Control the story. You tell yourself. Your mind creates a story long before reality has a chance to speak. When something happens, someone texts you late, a colleague acts cold, a plan falls apart, your mind instantly fills in the blanks. It assumes rejection, disrespect, failure, danger. And once that story takes shape, your emotions follow as if it were the absolute truth. Most people don't react to events. They react to the story they imagine inside those events. That story becomes the real enemy. Stoics knew that interpretation is more powerful than circumstance. Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them." This isn't philosophy, it's psychological precision. Two people face the same situation, but one panics while the other stays calm. The difference isn't the moment itself, but the meaning their minds attach to it. Change the meaning, and you change the entire emotional experience. If you control the story, you control the outcome. Negative narratives are mental traps. They're ignoring me. I messed everything up. They must be judging me. This always happens to me. These assumptions trigger anxiety, defensiveness, and overreaction, making the situation worse. But if you question the story before believing it, you interrupt the spiral. You regain the ability to act with clarity rather than insecurity. Your story must be examined, not obeyed. Instead of blindly accepting the first narrative your brain creates, ask yourself 3 Stoic questions. 1. What are the facts I can prove? 2. What part of the story is guesswork or emotion? 3. What interpretation would a calm, rational mind choose? These questions break the illusion that your feelings equal reality. They separate truth from fear, perception from projection. Most emotional suffering comes from assumptions, not facts. Think about how many times you've stressed over something that later turned out harmless. The message wasn't hostile, they were busy. The cold behavior wasn't rejection, they were tired. The failure wasn't final, it was a redirection. When you let the story run wild, you create storms that don't exist. When you take control of the narrative, the storm dissolves. A disciplined mind narrates reality, not imagination. Training your mind means refusing to let fear write the script. It means choosing interpretations that give you power, not anxiety. Not fantasies or blind optimism, but grounded, rational clarity. The kind that keeps your emotions steady and your decisions sharp. Calm thinking is not ignoring reality, it is seeing reality without distortion. When you control the story, you stop reacting to shadows. You stop assuming the worst. You stop wounding yourself with what you fear might be true. Instead, you respond to the world as it is, not as your emotions exaggerate it to be. The strongest mind is not the one that feels the least, but the one that interprets the most accurately. Because once you master the narrative, you master the moment. And once you master the moment, you win far more than you lose. Rule 3. Never let emotions lead the negotiation. The moment your emotions take the lead, you've already lost the negotiation. In any difficult situation, conflict, criticism, disagreement, decision-making, emotions try to jump in front and take control. Anger wants to answer for you. Ego wants to defend you. Fear wants to shrink you. But none of these reactions help you win. They cloud your judgment, distort your perception, and push you into choices you regret later. A calm mind sees the whole board. An emotional mind only sees the threat. Stoics understood this dynamic clearly. When emotion rises, perspective narrows. You stop thinking strategically. You stop seeing options. You operate on impulse instead of intention. And the moment you do that, the other person, or the situation, gains the advantage. They pull you into their pace, their tone, their chaos. If someone can control your emotions, they can control your actions. This is why manipulators poke, prod, and provoke. They don't need to outsmart you. They just need to unsettle you. Once you're agitated, you become predictable. You talk too much. You reveal too much. You defend too much. And that is the exact moment your position weakens. Emotional reactions turn strength into vulnerability. Think about the last time you snapped back instantly. Chances are, Afterward, you felt embarrassed, misunderstood, or drained. You didn't walk away feeling powerful. You walked away feeling like you gave the situation too much of you. That's because emotional responses might feel strong in the moment, but they leave you with less control, not more. Stoic discipline means letting logic speak before emotion does. It doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. It means not letting them negotiate on your behalf. You can feel anger without acting out of anger. You can feel fear without shrinking. You can feel frustration without letting it make your decisions. This separation between emotion and action is the foundation of mental strength. Before responding, always pass the moment through a filter. Ask yourself, 1. Is this response useful or just emotional? 2. Will this help me win, or will it only express how I feel? 3. What would the calmest version of me do right now? These questions instantly recenter your mind. They stop the emotional surge from hijacking your choices. Your goal is not to be emotionless, but emotionally untouchable. A person who controls their emotions becomes unpredictable in the best way. They cannot be baited, rattled, or manipulated. They move deliberately, speak with intention, and choose responses that protect their energy and position. They are grounded even when others are chaotic. A steady mind is a dangerous weapon in any confrontation, because most people expect emotional behavior. When you stay composed, you break their pattern. When you stay strategic, you change the tone of the entire interaction. When you stay calm, you force others to rise to your level or reveal their lack of control. Power belongs to the one who keeps their emotions out of the driver's seat. And when you do that consistently, you don't just win negotiations. You win respect, influence, and control over your own destiny. Rule 4. Focus on what you can control. Cut the noise. Most of your stress comes from trying to control things that were never yours to control. People drain their energy chasing outcomes, forcing people to change, or trying to predict how things will turn out. And the more they try to control the uncontrollable, the more powerless they feel. This constant pressure creates anxiety, frustration, and emotional exhaustion. Not because life is too hard, but because the mind is trying to carry responsibilities that don't belong to it. A Stoic wins by narrowing the battlefield. Stoics don't fight every fear, every opinion, every possibility, every reaction. They strip away the noise and focus only on what is truly theirs. Their thoughts, their judgments, their choices, and the actions they take. Everything else, the results, the approval, the timing, the behavior of others, is recognized as external and therefore not worth emotional investment. This separation is what creates freedom. When you waste energy on what you can't control, you lose power over what you can. Think about how many times you've replayed a conversation in your head, hoping someone would think differently of you, or how often you've stressed about an outcome you couldn't influence once your part was done. All those hours could have been used to improve your skills, strengthen your mind, or advance your goals. Instead, they were spent trying to rewrite what was already out of your hands. Control is not about dominating life. It's about directing yourself. Everything outside your mind is a storm you cannot stop, but you can decide how you walk through it. You may not control who likes you, but you control how you treat yourself. You may not control every opportunity, but you control the work you put in. You may not control setbacks, but you control the meaning you give them. When you shift your focus inward, you reclaim every ounce of wasted energy. Energy flows where your attention lives. Choose wisely. The more you chase people's approval, the more anxious you become. The more you obsess over results, the more overwhelmed you feel. The more you cling to expectations, the more disappointed you grow. But when you anchor your mind to your decisions, actions, and discipline, you gain something rare: stability in a world that constantly demands reaction. A powerful life is built by mastering the controllable and releasing the rest. A simple Stoic practice can transform everything. Divide the situation into two columns: within my control and outside my control. In the first column, you write your actions, your words, your effort, your boundaries. In the second, you place everything else. Then you pour your entire focus into column 1 and emotionally detach from column 2. You can't lose if you only fight battles that are yours. When you stop wrestling with the uncontrollable, your mind becomes sharper, your decisions become cleaner, your presence becomes stronger. Suddenly, you're no longer overwhelmed, you're in command. Peace begins the moment you stop giving attention to what you can't change. And when you live this way, you don't just survive the chaos, you rise above it. Rule 5. Become emotionally untouchable. If they can trigger you, they can control you. Most people walk through life with their emotions exposed, allowing anyone, even a stranger, to push the right buttons and instantly hijack their mood. A rude comment ruins their day. A small rejection crushes their confidence. A disagreement becomes a personal attack. Emotional sensitivity becomes emotional vulnerability, and emotional vulnerability becomes a weapon others use against them. A Stoic mind is not cold, it is centered. Stoics don't avoid feelings, they avoid being ruled by them. They understand that every provocation is a test of self-mastery, not a call to panic. Instead of reacting, they observe. Instead of absorbing the negativity, they let it pass. Their emotional world isn't built on external approval, but on internal stability, a stability no one can take away. People only have power over you when you react exactly the way they expect. This is why manipulators poke you, why insecure people insult you, why do angry people push your boundaries. They're hoping to stir your emotions, because once you're emotional, you're predictable. And predictable people are easy to influence, easy to deceive, and easy to control. The moment you rise to their bait, you hand them the outcome. Calm is not passive. Calm is dominance. Imagine someone tries to disrespect you, expecting you to explode. But instead, you stay composed. You breathe slowly. You speak slowly. You look them in the eyes with a steady presence. Suddenly, they become uncomfortable. They lose certainty. They're the ones exposed. Because nothing disarms a hostile person faster than a mind they cannot shake. Emotional detachment is a superpower when used with discipline. It means you choose what deserves your energy instead of giving it away impulsively. It means you stop personalizing every behavior. Not everything is about you. It means you stop letting temporary emotions create permanent decisions. It means you stop bleeding emotionally for people who wouldn't do the same for you. To become emotionally untouchable, you must practice internal separation. Separate the event from your interpretation. Separate what someone says from what it means about you. Separate their tone from your identity. Someone's disrespect reveals their character, not your worth. Their hostility reflects their inner chaos, not your value. When you internalize this truth, emotional freedom comes naturally. Strength is the ability to stay steady while others are shaking. A Stoic knows that silence can be stronger than shouting, stillness stronger than aggression, self-control stronger than dominance. You are not required to respond to every insult, to defend yourself against every accusation, or to match someone's emotional intensity just to prove a point. Your restraint is not weakness. It is wisdom. The less reactive you are, the more powerful you become. Because when you are emotionally untouchable, no one can manipulate you. No one can drag you into their chaos. No one can pull you off your path. Master your emotions, and no situation can defeat you. Master your reactions, and no person can control you. Rule 6. Learn to use strategic silence. Silence is a weapon most people never learn to use. When tension rises, most people do the opposite of what creates power. They talk too much, explain too much, defend too much. or react too fast. Their words spill out of panic, insecurity, or the need to regain control. But the more they speak, the more control they lose. Silence, on the other hand, creates pressure while preserving your composure. A calm silence exposes the truth in any situation. When you stop responding immediately, you force the other person to confront their own behavior without the distraction of your reaction. They become aware of their tone, their words, and their intentions. Silence makes them hear themselves. It makes them uncomfortable in the space they created. And in many cases, they correct themselves without you ever having to say a word. Silence shifts the power dynamic faster than any argument. When someone tries to provoke you and you remain quiet, they suddenly lose the momentum they were counting on. When someone expects you to defend yourself and you don't, they lose the script they rehearsed in their head. When someone speaks aggressively and you stay composed, their emotional state becomes painfully obvious, while yours becomes powerful. Strategic silence is not avoidance. It is emotional leverage. It gives you time to evaluate the situation without being swept into the heat of the moment. It protects your reputation because you're not saying things you'll regret later. It allows you to choose your words with intention instead of impulse. Above all, it shows that you are governed by principle, not provocation. The person who speaks first often gives away the most. In negotiations, silence forces the other side to reveal more than they intended. In arguments, silence forces the truth to rise to the surface. In personal conflict, silence reveals who is emotionally unstable and who is grounded. Silence is not empty. It is full of information. It is full of power. There are 5 forms of strategic silence every Stoic uses. The observing silence, when you listen fully before responding. The cooling silence, when you create space for emotions to settle. The boundary silence, when you refuse to feed someone's hostility. The reflective silence, when you process before speaking. The disarming silence, when your calm presence makes the aggressor shrink. Each one is intentional, controlled, and impossible to manipulate. People fear silence because it reveals their true intentions. They fear the space where their excuses don't work. They fear moments where they must face themselves. They fear losing the emotional advantage they had when you reacted instantly. But your silence is not for them. It is for you. It is how you conserve your strength, protect your clarity, and refuse to be dragged into unnecessary chaos. When you master silence, you master the pace of every interaction. You decide when the conversation continues. You decide what deserves a response. You decide how the moment evolves, and the more silence you can hold without breaking, the more control you gain over the entire situation. Speak only when speaking adds power. Stay silent when silence speaks for you. Rule 7. Think in seconds. Act for decades. Short-term emotions ruin long-term victories. Most people make decisions based on the heat of the moment, anger, fear, insecurity, impulse, and those decisions rarely serve them. A quick reaction can destroy trust, a rushed choice can close doors, and a moment of pride can create years of regret. When you think only in seconds, you sacrifice what could have been yours for years. A Stoic mind zooms out before it reacts. The Stoics understood that perspective determines power. When you widen the timeline, pressure dissolves. Something that feels unbearable now becomes insignificant when viewed through the lens of your future self. Instead of asking, "How do I feel right now?" a Stoic asks, "How will this choice echo over time?" That single shift changes everything. A powerful mind doesn't chase the moment, it shapes the future. Think of all the decisions that changed your life. Very few were made in panic. Most were made when you stepped back, breathed, and aligned your actions with who you want to become, not how you felt in that second. Crisis decisions destroy, long-view decisions build. The person who thinks long-term becomes immune to emotional hijacking. Emotions demand urgency, but wisdom requires distance. When someone provokes you, they want you to react instantly. When life pressures you, it wants you to panic. But slowing down is not weakness. It is strategic dominance. When you pause and zoom out, you reclaim the ability to act intentionally instead of react impulsively. You're no longer controlled by the moment. You control the moment. The mind that plans decades cannot be manipulated by seconds. People who live impulsively are always at the mercy of their current emotion. They apologize for things they didn't need to say. They quit when things get uncomfortable. They cling to things they should release. But someone who thinks in years isn't shaken by temporary discomfort. They see every challenge as a stepping stone, not a threat. Use the Stoic 3 Horizons map to guide every difficult moment. The first horizon. What does this mean right now? The second horizon. What will this matter in 1 year? The third horizon. Will this decision strengthen or weaken my life in the next decade? This mental map pulls you out of emotional fog and into strategic clarity. When you apply it, impulsive choices disappear instantly. Most people overestimate the moment and underestimate the future. They let pride ruin opportunities. They let fear stop progress. They let impatience sabotage growth. But those who think long-term rise while others stay stuck. Every choice becomes a building block instead of a reaction. Every obstacle becomes training instead of a threat. You win in life by committing to who you want to become, not who you feel like being today. A disciplined mind does not serve the temporary self. It serves the future self. That future self demands maturity, presence, and strategy, not emotional explosions. When you think long-term, you stop giving power to things that won't matter tomorrow. The calmest person wins the moment. The long-term thinker wins. Rule 8. Win without fighting. The Stoic advantage. The strongest victories are the ones earned without confrontation. Most people assume that winning means overpowering, arguing, or proving themselves louder than the person in front of them. But that's the mindset of someone ruled by insecurity. Real strength doesn't need to shout. Real power doesn't need to dominate a room. True victory is when you keep control of yourself while the other person loses control of theirs. A Stoic wins by refusing to be dragged into battles that don't matter. When someone tries to provoke you, your ego wants to fight. When someone insults you, your pride wants to respond. But reacting only validates their attempt to pull you into their chaos. A Stoic sees the trap clearly. Not every challenge deserves effort. Not every disagreement requires a war, and not every opponent is worthy of your energy. You win more by staying calm than by winning arguments. Calmness exposes the emotional instability of the person trying to attack you. Silence reveals their intentions faster than any debate. Detachment keeps you from stepping into psychological traps, and the more grounded you remain, the more the situation bends in your favor. Not because you forced it, but because you stayed steady while others unraveled. Your composure is a strategy, not a retreat. It allows you to protect your energy, maintain your dignity, and preserve your long-term goals. When you refuse to fight unnecessary battles, you keep your power for the moments that truly matter. You don't waste time proving yourself to people who don't deserve access to your peace. The Stoic advantage is simple. You win by not playing the game they want you to play. You set the terms, you decide the pace, you choose when, how, and whether a response is even necessary. And in that control, quiet, steady, unshakable, you gain victory without conflict. A warrior doesn't fight every battle. A wise one wins only the battles worth fighting. You've just learned 8 Stoic principles that can turn any situation into an advantage, not by overpowering others, but by mastering yourself. In the end, every challenge, every insult, every moment of pressure comes down to one question. Can you stay steady while the world tries to shake you? Because the person who controls their reactions controls the outcome. The person who protects their peace protects their power, and the person who thinks clearly under pressure becomes unstoppable. These rules aren't theories. They're tools. Use them the next time someone pushes your buttons. Use them when fear tries to rush your decisions. Use them when chaos tries to pull you off center. Every moment is a chance to train your mind and strengthen your discipline. If this message resonated with you, leave a comment with the rule you'll apply first. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your journey toward an unshakable mind starts now.